Welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of the shedding of the innocent blood. So we read the parable about the vineyard and the blood that was shed, the servants and the son. There's a chapter break, but the story continues. Jesus is answering the Pharisees and the chief priests again. He tells them another parable in chapter 22 of Matthew about a wedding. It's a king. He's prepared a wedding for his son, and he sends out his servants to invite people to the wedding. Servants arrive, and the people that they're inviting, they're too busy. You know, they're going to go back and work on the farm. They're going to go back and sell their merchandise. They disregard the servants. It says that they actually take and kill the servants. And that's the part that I want to focus on, verse 6. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. So again, God, it's a picture of God sending servants to Israel. They treat them badly, they kill them. And in verse 7 of Matthew 22, it says, "But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city." And then it continues about the wedding. I'd like to focus for a minute on the innocent blood. We have that in the vineyard. We have that here in the wedding invitation. If you turn the page to Matthew 23, you should read all of this. There's a lot of woes unto the Pharisees, unto the lawyers, the scribes. But in Matthew 23, starting with verse 29, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, because you built the temples or the tombs of the prophets and garnished the sepulchres of the righteous. And I say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets." So Jesus is discussing the past and the innocent blood that's been shed. The present people blame their forefathers. But Jesus, he tells them that they're going to fill up the measure in verse 32 of their fathers. They're going to fill up the cup of innocent blood. "Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your temples, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all of the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel until the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stone them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate." So this is a description of the punishment that's going to be dished out to this generation. They're going to pay the price for all of the righteous blood that's been shed, from Abel, Cain and Abel, to this guy that's murdered between the altar and the temple. And it's going to come upon this generation. Again, we have this context that Jesus keeps giving us, and we're right at Matthew 24 again. So He rolls right into the signs of the end of the world, the end of the age, the day where he's coming on the clouds. That's in 24. If you want to read that same passage about all of the blood of all the righteous being required of this generation, Luke also has it in Luke 11, 47 through 51. I'm going to let you read that on your own. It's shorter. It's a shorter version. But read Matthew 23 and Luke 11. And now I'd like to take you to what I think is a smoking gun. So this is the sister of the 10 northern tribes. This is Judah. This is where Jesus comes out. He's going to be the ruler out of the line of Judah, son of David. We know that Judah, the two southern tribes, they're just as wicked as the sister was that was made desolate by the Babylonians, by God. But they've been allowed to exist to this point so that the son of David could come, the King of Kings, the Lion of Judah. He comes as the lamb, he's sacrificed, and then he's to return as the Lion of Judah, the King of Kings, and set up his eternal kingdom. I believe all of that happened in that generation. Here's a pretty key thing. We're going to go to Revelations. And I'm not going to tell you what I think. I just want you to get your pencil ready so you can connect these dots. In Revelation 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Then the angel tells him he'll tell him who this woman is. So we all know the story of Revelations in parts. A lot of people avoid Revelations because of the apocalyptic language. But if we can identify this late in the book, Revelations chapter 17, who this great whore is, who this harlot is, it might help us understand what the final book in the Bible is about. This is a woman who's drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of all the martyrs. She's got a cup in her hand. Who do you think she is? We read Matthew 23. We read Luke 11. All of the blood of all of the righteous from Abel will be required of this generation. There's a great city in Revelations. I'm not talking about the New Jerusalem. It's a wicked city full of every dark bird. It's Babylon. It's an evil city. It's going to be destroyed within an hour. The King of Kings is in the next chapter. Let's read verse 18 together of Revelation chapter 17. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Can you identify the great city? Can you identify the woman according to what Jesus is teaching us in the Gospels? It's pretty powerful. It's helpful as far as putting it in perspective for us. There's no book of Lamentations after the great 3.5-year war between Rome and Judea. There's one that's close. There's a historian that writes the accounts of that war. His name is Josephus. He's not part of the Bible, but he's a historian that he's horrified by the war. And this is more than just a physical town being destroyed and burned, a physical city, and people being punished and killed and led away captive into all the earth, having their homeland be desolate. This is more than that. The King of Kings is also battling spiritual powers and overthrowing them. And he will be the king of the earth. And he will establish a kingdom for the rest of time. And he will bring his kingdom to dwell with us. Listen to the other videos. It's pretty powerful. If you can identify who this woman is in Revelation 17, I don't know that you need to fear about a tribulation. We can talk about that. I don't think in our modern day we need to be afraid every time we get a news report about the horrible things in Revelations, because these things were to shortly come to pass when they were written, and they were aimed at the people that Jesus was talking about in the New Testament. So I hope you can connect those dots. Maybe we'll share more information about that. But we can figure out who the great whore is and what this great city is. It's not Rome where the Pope is. What is it? It's the same as this woman. I hope you enjoyed that study. It's very powerful, and it really does paint a very beautiful, detailed picture of the end of this story and the beginning of a new age in the kingdom of God. I look forward to our next lesson. Thank you.